Hi guys. I'm just going to give a quick little, I want to do like a spiel, but I don't think anybody wants to listen to a spiel per se. So I am 32 weeks pregnant. At 28 weeks, I think. I can't remember when it is. Somewhere around that vicinity of time. About 28 weeks pregnant, women do a glucose test to check blood sugars, because at this point in the pregnancy, the placenta starts getting bigger and releasing more of these hormones that actually affect your insulin. So with my first pregnancy with Athena, I was like, there's no freaking way that I have gestational diabetes, which is what this test confirms or denies, basically. So I was like, there's no way I have gestational diabetes. I am a healthy weight. I am an athlete. Well, not at that time. I wasn't an athlete, but you know what I mean? Like, I have an athletic background. I have athletic knowledge. I went to school for this stuff. Like, I'm not obese. I'm not overweight per se. I mean, at that point, probably for an average person, but not for a pregnant person. So I had been doing everything pretty much like by the book, health-wise, for my child and for my body. And the test came back and my blood sugar was super high. So I had to do a 3-hour fasted. So you go to sleep fasted, you wake up fasted, you go take the test, you go like drink a drink that's like full of sugar. It's great. And then you get blood drawn after an hour of waiting, and then you sit and you wait for another hour and you get blood drawn again, and then you sit and you wait for another hour and you get your blood drawn again. So I did a 3-hour fast. You can't have food, you don't get anything to drink, you just sit there. So like when you're pregnant, you're like 7 months pregnant or something like that, and you can't eat until like noon, which was not really enjoyable. But I did it, and my test came back totally positive, like fine, you know. So Athena and I did not have gestational diabetes. I wasn't diagnosed with it through my pregnancy with her. Fine. I still, clearly, if you don't know this, I had a bunch of issues regardless with her and my placenta. The reason this is me, I'm not a doctor. This is my speculation, is that my placenta was not really functioning super well. So I really don't think I had gestational diabetes because of that fact. Like, it wasn't producing enough of the hormone. Anyway, this pregnancy, same thing happened with my glucose test. Came back super high. This time, because of my issues with Athena that I had after, like, with her birth and her NICU experience, they did not let me off the hook. I didn't really they eventually were like, you can take the 3-hour test. And I was like, you know what? I already bought all this stuff that they suggested I buy to test my blood. So now I have been testing my blood 3 times a day, 3 times a day. It was 4. They cut it down. So this is how it works, in case any of you are curious about how this works. You have this little thing that reads your glucose. I mean, I know that I have friends that have diabetes, which I feel really, really bad for you. It's horrible. But I don't have diabetes, I have gestational. So once I have the baby, I just need to make sure throughout my life that I don't turn into a diabetic person. So this reads the blood. This is the stick. Put a needle in there, and then you go like this. It goes pop. Got a little bit of blood. Just gotta squeeze it out, especially if I'm at the rink. It gets cold. Reads my blood. It's gotta be under 140. Mine's 105. Pretty fine. So anyway, the point of me getting on here and having this conversation is when I found out I was gestationally diabetic, I was really upset. Like, really upset. I was upset with Athena when it came back that it was high. And then with this baby, when I found out that I'm like just going to get pegged with that title and I have to like really do this every day, I was really upset because in my head, this is only for people who don't really take care of themselves, who don't do things by the book, who are on the heavier side, have an issue with other stuff, just diabetes runs in the family, blah, 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 blah. All that junk. It's all junk. So you can do everything. This is just me giving other moms and potential moms permission to like not have the perfect pregnancy and do everything right during your pregnancy. And maybe your delivery just sucks and it just isn't what you planned. Like with Athena, I had like, I'm doing all of this right. I'm doing everything I should. I'm staying healthy. I'm doing all that. So this means that. So A, B, and C equals this result, which is I'm going to have a natural, all births are natural now. I've realized this, but vaginal, what's the word? No drugs involved. That was how I was going to deliver my child. And you know what? We got to that point and it wouldn't have been safe for her at that point, and we were risking brain damage. And I was like, I'm not going to take that risk. So it was a disappointment because I felt like I had failed, but I had done everything right prior to it. And then going into this pregnancy again, I was like, well, first of all, I got over trying to get pregnant because with the intention of fixing my mistake that I made with my first child, which was not doing everything right, but that wasn't true. So I got over that and I realized it wasn't true. Now I'm just going to have a child because I really want to, and it's fine. So now we're pregnant. And then I have gestational diabetes with this one. And I've just realized that some people have great, easy, fun pregnancies and deliveries, and they're great, and that's awesome. I'm so happy for you that you get to have what you want. That's so good. And some people just don't. And it's not because of anything that you do or don't do. I've lifted weights my whole pregnancy with this one. I worked out my whole pregnancy with Athena. I worked out more with Athena but it was lighter weight. More frequency, lighter weight, super healthy. This baby, I have sweets at the beginning. I like with this one, I just did not, they made me sick to my stomach to think about, let alone have. So I was craving salads. Sometimes I'd crave like salty stuff, but it was like salads and all that good stuff. So my whole point in getting on here is just to be like, you should engage in a pregnancy or life in general with a healthy outlook. Like, this is going to help me be a healthier person. This is going to help me live life the way that I would like to live life. And this is going to just enhance my experience through life. But it's not it does not prevent other things from happening. Like, you can be totally healthy and bad things can go wrong and bad things can happen. It's not foolproof. So the disappointment that I had in my head when I made this realization, like before I made this realization, was just astronomical. And it was it affected me like crazy. So I've just come to terms with the fact that regardless of how healthy you are, things can still happen to you. Doesn't mean that you're anybody who does this is like superhuman. And I know that we all have our like battles and we all have our things and we all have our stuff that we're dealing with, but I just want you guys to know, and I want future moms and current moms to know that you're doing a great job. It's all really hard, and as long as you're trying to do the healthy thing, that's great. But don't put it's not all. It's some things just happen, And it's just like, you can only do so much to help yourself through it. Yeah, there are things that people can do differently that would help them. But I mean, as long as you're not actively engaging in dangerous or harmful activities, obviously, like, do things the right way, but don't be like, okay, because I'm doing this the right way, everything's going to be peachy keen. You know, it's just you're going to do things right. You're going to try your best. And whatever's going to happen, it's all going to be fine as long as you and your baby and your family are all fine. It's all going to be fine. So yeah, I just wanted to hop on there and just try to take that off your shoulders because they weighed heavy on mine, but it's fine. It's fine. I've come to terms with this little packet that I have to carry around until I deliver. So anyway, have a beautiful day and thank you for listening to me. Mwah.